Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Shine Wealthy. I'm Chris Williams, and I am here today with one of my dear friends, and she's an amazing copywriter. Like I tell her all the time, she's like a word genie, and she really, really is. So I'm so excited to have Laura Mashinkto here with us today. Laura, thank you for being here. I just cannot wait for women to hear your brilliance around attracting and using words to bring people into our world in a way that feels just so good. Like it's not icky, it's not salesy, it's not aggressive, it's not bro marketing. It's really powerful stuff. So welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here. And I think you may have left out one of the biggest, most best parts that I get to do, and that's to be an associate coach in Activate Abundance.
Oh my God, you've been with me from the very beginning. So yeah.
So it's really such an honor to be here because, yes, I love helping people get their messages out into the world and share really effectively and convert more of the right people into their programs. And I get to help your clients with that, which is such an honor. So I'm really excited to be here.
It's so much fun. You are so generous with your time to be able to serve people, not only with the beautiful, creating content that converts course, but showing up actually live and actually helping people workshop pieces. I mean, that's one of the beauties is having access to someone like you that's been in the copywriting world for so long that can really help people nail things and get clarity and create confidence very, very quickly. It's just so good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Such an honor.
So tell us a little bit about, Laura and what your vision is. And kind of one of the things that, you talk about a lot, which I've learned from you, is believers become buyers. And
yes,
how do we actually do
oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So, here's the thing. I, like most people, started unaware that coaching was a thing. And I actually got into copywriting for coaches by accident. I was becoming a copywriter, and I happened to take an unpaid internship at a marketing agency that served coaches and speakers and authors. And that's how I found it. And my world completely changed. I'm talking my relationship's better, my health is better, my money is like, I took did you catch that I took that as an unpaid internship, right? So I've been able to have so much more actually abundance in all areas of my life because of coaching. And it's been so powerful and impactful that I deeply want everybody to have it. And we sometimes get stuck in a bubble and have to remember coaching's not mainstream, right? Your neighbor doesn't know about having a coach. Your the other moms in this line at the school pickup don't know about having a coach, and they should.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if it's changed my life and your life that much, they should. So that's a big mission of mine, is that, like, I really believe everybody should have access to coaching and to know about it and to have that growth mindset of it. But it was when I was actually watching, and I know you've heard this story before, but it was when I was actually watching a political ad that I was looking at the power of belief for politicians. And I was like, they'll put yard signs in their yard, they'll hold boat parades, they'll market on behalf of politicians, they'll donate their time, receiving no goods or services in return, they'll make phone calls, they'll knock on doors, they'll do all of these like really scary things that people hate to do. And they'll donate their money and get no goods and services in return. Why? Yeah. Because they believe in the change. But here's my thing. Coaches are the ones really changing people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And so I realized that if we could create that kind of belief in people, that we could change people's lives, that we could make them enthusiastic, raving fans and buyers, that they would promote for us on our behalf. And what's interesting is once I applied that, once I shifted from a copywriter's to get a sale, to my focus to build belief, the sales became inevitable.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that. Yes. And it's so funny because I have heard that story before. I love hearing it though, because it's such a good reminder that it
Mhm.
really is true that, believers are buyers, number one, but also I think of you whenever I see a commercial over and over and over again on TV, because repetition builds belief is another one of your amazing sayings that I've
Yeah,
heard.
that's one of my little one-liners.
You got such good ones. Yeah. Repetition builds belief, believers are buyers. So,
Right.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've just seen this, Tesla commercial over and over. And obviously I can still remember it, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, I think I saw like four of them in like,
Right.
15 minutes. Or, you watch the Super Bowl and, you see Budweiser and Coca-Cola and whatever over and over and over again. And it's like, I'm
That's
really
what
sick of seeing that commercial. And yet there's a reason why it's on while they're putting it on repeat so much.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is yes, believers are buyers and repetition builds belief, because it's like once you realize believers are buyers, right? People are buying something because they believe in you, they believe in your system, they believe that it will work for them, that it will solve their problems. It's because of that belief in it. So then the question becomes, well, how do you build belief? And the answer to that is repetition. It's the very reason why people do affirmations. It's
Mm.
the very reason why, in school, when you were learning multiplication, you did pages and pages of them, not, oh, let me practice this one time. You had to repeat it. That's how we learn. That's how we believe. That's how we grow. And the research is really, really clear that if we hear something enough times, we will begin to believe it's true, whether it is or not, actually.
Mhm.
And it's how mindset coaches work, right? We practice new thoughts so that we build new beliefs in ourselves.
Yep.
But the same thing is true with our content and our messaging and our marketing. When we say the same, this is why it's so important to get so really ridiculous clear on your messaging, and why I have so many little one-liners that I say over and over and over. And why that's so important for your marketing is when people hear that over and over and over again, it's just science. They will begin to believe it.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
And if
Exactly.
I can add, what's so cool about what we do is we're getting them, by getting them to believe in what we're doing as coaches, we're actually getting them to believe in themselves. We're getting them to believe in their better future. We're getting them to actually shed their limiting beliefs and start choosing more empowering ones. So, like, even in our marketing, we're changing people's lives,
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
so
That is so,
cool.
yes. The ripples that happen with that too, when somebody sees something and actually believes that, oh, well, this actually could be possible for me, right? This and helping, one of the things that I love is helping people see that there really is this ladder of beliefs, right? There's a
I
ladder.
love your concept of ladder of beliefs. It's just, oh, it's so good.
And that it is true. Like the first place is we have to believe that it's actually possible. And that is such, the beauty of the work that you do is you help people create content that helps people in their belief of believing that it's possible, of believing that it's possible for them, believing that it's
Yes.
possible for them right now, believing it's
Yes.
possible for them right now, and with the coach's support. And you've got such an amazing structure with this that makes it really simple to do, really clear, really easy to understand, and it is your posting for profit system. And I would love if you would share this, because seriously, when I heard it and experienced it myself, I was like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to hear about this. This is amazing. This is going to change so many lives and businesses. So, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the juice
Yeah.
on posting for profit because it's phenomenal.
Well, thank you. Of course, shamelessly, I love my posting for profit system because it it makes it to where we're all creating content anyway. We all know we need to be posting. Now, a lot of people either aren't getting a lot of results from it and they're just putting a lot of time into it, or they're like spending so much time, effort, and energy like on what to do, when to post, where to post, blah 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 blah. So it's like it's not getting results and it's consuming a ridiculous amount of time, effort, and energy. And so it's like, for one thing, I think one takeaway here is like even just having an intention and a plan and a system so that you're not just putting so much effort into what do I post? When do I post? How do I post? Is it going to work? That's huge.
Oh
You've
my
got
God,
to have that.
absolutely.
And then you've got to have intention for it. And the reason why the posting for profit system does work so well is because of that ladder of belief, because of that client journey that people go on with us. And I don't know about you, but when I was first becoming a marketer, I was taught the AIDA model. It's very widely accepted across all of marketing, right? We know that it's AIDA, and it's attention, interest, desire, action. That's the process that somebody goes on, or as you like to would call it, the belief ladder, which is actually even juicier, but it's the process that somebody goes on to actually buy from you.
Mhm.
And so if you think about your content plan and your posting and stuff, why are you not intentionally taking people down that buyer's journey with purpose month after month after month?
Mhm.
So the posting for profit cycle, and obviously we don't have time or space to go into all of the depth of it, but it's really about, okay, let's have content that's specifically directed at grabbing people's attention, that's
Mhm.
specifically directed at pulling new people into our space, that's so specifically we know, hey, we have a goal and we have a plan for this content. It is to grow my audience, it's to attract attention, it's to hook people in, it is to, and yeah, you're going to do that with stuff that's polarizing or controversial or trendy or newsworthy or top of mind for people already.
Yep.
And let's focus on that with intention. And then we're going to move on. Okay, now we know we've got their attention. We've got to cultivate that interest in them. We've got to really kind of start to cultivate that belief in them.
Mhm.
So we're going to kind of create that content where they're going to feel like they're getting to, building that know, like, and trust. They're going to start feeling like they know us and that they like us. And we're going to share our experiences, our values, who we are. And we're going to start generating some interest in what we do and how we help. And in that process, we're going to get them to say, yes, that's me. Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, that does sound like me. And they're going to start saying a little bit of yes to yes, that's me, and a little bit more yes to themselves. So we're
Mhm.
moving up that ladder of belief. Like, yes, that could be possible for me. Yes, that is interesting. Yes, I'm thinking that I do resonate with that, right? So you're moving them up that ladder of belief. Then you want to be intentionally creating content. There is a whole set of content that I create. It's a quarter of my content at least every single month that is just about building belief in the one thing that I need them to believe to make all other objections irrelevant. And so I have no competition, right? Like, what is that thing that is completely different about you and what you do and what sets you apart, so that well, it's so freeing, because once you know that and you spotlight it and you isolate it and you show it to the world, guess what? There's no such thing as competition anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
all collaboration,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Yeah, totally. And when you have that clarity, there's so much more confidence that comes with that. When you're clear on that and what makes you different, and it's kind of like the domino effect, right? You push that top one and then everything else falls into place. But it also allows you as the coach, me as the coach, as the entrepreneur that wants to share my message and attract more clients, I feel really confident and grounded in what makes, what is my unique brilliance? What is the thing that is going to allow me to impact others' lives in a way that other people don't do?
Yeah. And I love, we were talking before this and we talked about what a game changer that confidence is,
Yeah, totally.
and even just, you know, a compliment you shared with me is how, like, when I sell, it doesn't feel like selling. And it's like, it's because I'm just so confident in it. And it's because I genuinely want people to have it. And it's because I genuinely believe in it myself that
Yep.
I'm just so excited to share it with people. And that's what you feel.
Yep.
And I think that, and I told you I recently read a book, and in the book he was like, what you get from this is going to depend on your confidence in actually doing it, right? If you feel confident to actually go and apply it, you'll go and apply it. If you don't feel confident, you won't. And so when you know what's special about you and you build that confidence, that alone is that game changer in you that lets you show up as the leader,
Yep.
that lets you show up and sell without feeling salesy, that lets you like that's everything. And then that's a transfer of confidence to them so that they feel confident taking action with your support.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. That is like, if y'all, if you guys have a pen and paper, like please write this down, because this really is the number one. This is the very first step. Like before you even jump on the ladder of beliefs, like you have to have this sense of confidence and enrollment in your own self, in your own belief, in your own process, because that energetically is going to come forward in your content, in your writing, in everything, right?
Yeah.
And so often I talk to my clients about who are you being in the world, right? And the action that you take from who you are being, the energy will always trump the strategy, but you have to get into the energy of, okay, if you're in the energy of confidence, then what you say is going to be presented as confident. If you're in the energy of self-doubt, it doesn't matter what you what you write, it's not going to land.
Yeah. And, I think there's something really important here too. And it's something that, I think we forget to acknowledge, but it's really powerful once we realize is there's the inner confidence we feel inside
Mhm.
about who we are and what we do and everything. And then there's the external confidence we project out. And we do that with our posture, with how much space we're taking up, how wide we are. Actually, the lower our vocal resonance, the more confident we sound, the volume with which we speak. And what's interesting is the two influence each other, right? When you feel confident on the inside, you kind of naturally stand a little taller, take up a little bit more space, speak a little louder. And the reverse is true. If you're feeling a little less than confident, if you start standing taller and start taking up more space and speaking up a little bit louder, you'll start to feel more confident. And so it's a little bit of a hack, as it's like we're sitting here saying, oh, you have to do this first. And then if you're sitting there going, okay, well, how?
Feel it. Right.
Know that it's a two-way street and you can work on both at the same time. You can work on cultivating that inner confidence and portraying that outer confidence, and the two will build on each other. So,
oh my gosh, that's a definite hack. That is such a good one. I don't even like that word hack, but it's true. Like that's like the ninja tip. That's the ninja.
it is, and people severely underestimate the value of confidence. I always say like sales is a transfer of confidence. It's like
Oh,
you feel my confidence, and you want this thing, you want this result, you want this outcome, but you're ill-equipped or ill-prepared to get there. Obviously, or you would have it, and you recognize that. And it's my confidence as your coach, as your guide, as your mentor, that you're like, oh, I feel confident with her because she's confident in getting there.
Yep.
Because she's done it before, because she's helped other people do it. And so it's that confidence that makes them feel safe to invest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sales is. So, and people, by the way, can feel that in your writing or in your videos. So when we're talking about copy and we're talking about content, it really doesn't matter if you do written or video. You've got to portray that confidence.
Yeah. And what I love about working with you is that because you do get clarity and you don't have to overthink it, and you're not spinning and you're not trying to, like you said earlier, spend so much energy trying to figure out, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? Then it takes all of that off so that you really can be, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do today.
I know.
This is my
I know exactly what type of content. I always say one of the biggest differences between, I was a direct response copywriter, meaning my job was to get a response, to get a sale, to get someone to click on an ad. And so I always knew my goal. I always knew the goal in the ad was to get people to register. I always knew the goal of the sales page was to get people to buy. And I feel like that's the biggest difference between me as a professional copywriter and your average business owner and what we are doing differently. It's like I see business owners all the time writing content because they need to write content and they know they need to write content, or writing emails because they know they need to email their list without being aware of what is my specific goal with every single post. And I think that's why I do teach the posting for profit, and each type of content having this goal is, I think once you have that intention, once you know the actual reason why you're making that post and the response you want to get, when I'm planning my long form content, like my videos, I actually pre-plan the ideal comment that I want to receive, right? I think about that. Think about, what is the DM you want to get? Do you want it to be a DM saying, hey, Chris, tell me more about Activate Abundance? Then you need to write the kind of post that would enable somebody to know to specifically ask you about that.
Right.
Or if you want them to tag a friend, you need to write the kind of post that gives them the idea to tag a friend. Right? So it's like, once you know your goal, you can be so much more effective in how you're writing and what you're asking them to do, which, by the way, the last step that I hadn't talked about in my posting for profit system is that call to action step. And I guarantee you, people aren't doing this enough. Like, if you want to make more sales, make more calls to action. Well, I see both. Both. I see really new entrepreneurs sometimes where it's just like, work with me, where it's like ad after ad after ad and there's no nurture, right? Which I know you're so good at teaching nurture. Or they just aren't calling people to work with them hardly at all. They'll be like, oh, I haven't made any, gotten any new clients this month. And I'll be like, well, how many calls to action did you make?
Yeah.
And so it's
just reach out if you're interested. Let me know if you're interested. Like, can we talk about like that? I think that this is like such a golden nugget that people can be able to take away today and start implementing in whether it's in their email or whether it's in their post, or it doesn't matter whether you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook.
No, it doesn't matter. The rules of copywriting and persuasion apply to all platforms, to all people. And by the way, don't think my clients are too sophisticated for this to work on them. They're not, I promise.
Let's talk about this call to action piece, because that is something that I know that you see, and I actually learned this from you too. You're like, don't just say, send me a DM if you're interested, or reach out if you're interested. I mean,
for what?
Right.
Send you a DM for what? That's the thing. Remember that sales is that transfer of confidence and certainty. And so if I have a lot of confidence or certainty in knowing what I'm reaching out to you or DMing you for, then I'm going to be more likely to do it. And so what can you do to instill confidence in them doing that? Well, there's a lot of things. Number one, I think you need to rethink what you think of as a call to action. Most people think of a call to action as in DM me now, book now, buy now. And it's just that short. And yes, technically that's your direct call to action. But I think when you're writing invitations, when you're writing call to action copy, you need to think of it as significantly more text than just the book now. I want you speaking to your program by name. Again, when I said a goal earlier, and I said your goal is to have somebody reach out to you and say, Chris, I need to know more about Activate Abundance. How are they going to know to ask you more about Activate Abundance if you're not using the name?
Yeah, totally.
I think you should repeat the name 2 to 3 times in a good call to action post. They need to know, what is the result that program delivers? What's your big promise? What can they expect when they get to the end? What will they have gained? They need to know the problem that it's solving. And by the way, if you're not helping your people label their problem, you're missing an opportunity to make more conversions and sales, right? Because nobody's just coming to you to buy to get a little bit better at something. They're coming to you to solve a problem. And when you can label that problem for them and they go, oh yeah, I do have that problem, that's a lot of times the moment you make the sale. Because a lot of times they They knew that there was like, it wasn't quite like, I see this all the time with my clients. They know that maybe their content could be better, or it feels disorganized, or it feels hard, or it feels scattered. And like they feel like something's off there, but they can't label the problem.
Yeah.
And then I can say, oh, you're not getting at least 2 to 5 quality leads every single month from your content. It's underperforming. And then they're going, it's underperforming. And
Yeah.
I've given them a label that they can go, okay, now I can identify this problem. So you need to be giving them the result. You need to be labeling their problem. You need to be telling them like, what are the big juicy benefits that they're going to walk away with from this? Like, how is their life or their business going to be different because of it? And then heck yes, you need to give them such a clear direction. I a lot of times will even say, DM me and say, I want to know more about Activate Abundance. Right?
Yep.
So tell them what to say so that they're not even like, okay, what do I say to her?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. So yes, one of the things that I learned from you, Laura, which was like like totally mind blown. I'm like, you were like, and it's so simple, but we forget because we're not focused on this, is tell them what's going to happen on the call. Like, just tell them like, hey, if you would,
that it massively raises certainty. If you say DM me and say I want to know more about Activate Abundance, and then you say, when you do, I'll ask you a couple of questions. We'll hop on a quick chat so that you can get all of the information, and then we'll decide together if it's a fit.
yeah.
Then they're like, oh, I feel really confident reaching out because not only do I know exactly what to say, I know exactly what's going to happen when I do.
Yeah. And that creates safety and trust. Like you're
Safety,
like, oh, okay.
trust, confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That creates buyers.
Yep.
That creates sales.
And, I think a lot of times, at least I hear this with my clients too, is that because we're in the coaching world, or because we're in this world where we are used to thinking, well, of course, if I say reach out to me, I'm going to want to, support you. But people on the other end see you as an expert, and so they might even be afraid to reach out because they're like, like, I'm not the expert in this. I don't know what's going on, so I'm not even sure that I feel like I could reach out, right? And either I see people either not making the invitations at all because they don't want to feel salesy, or they don't want to, bother somebody, when really the other person needs that invitation. It's like having a party and not inviting anybody to actually come to the party, and just expecting that people know, well, of course I'm having a party. Of course you're invited. But you have
How would we know you're having a party? Or
right?
how would we know we're invited? Right? Maybe if I'm taking a walk around my neighborhood and I see lots of cars and I hear music and I smell people cooking out, like I can probably guess they're having a party, but I'm not going to assume I'm invited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, totally. And I think we think, oh, people will just know that I want them to come reach out and work with me. They don't.
Yes, they don't.
And it's your job as a leader to lead. It's your job to call them to action. It's your job to say, like, hey, they need somebody. Think about you when you've needed to make a change in your life. You need somebody to come and say, hey, remember what you want? Remember what you need? Right? I think about this is such not an appropriate movie, but it's the first one to come to mind. I think about Wedding Crashers. And if you've ever seen this movie, it's a romantic comedy, and all romantic comedies are built on deception. And so there's a place where they lose, the guy loses the trust of the girl. And there's this Vince Vaughn the character Vince Vaughn plays, and he goes to the Owen Wilson character who's lost the trust of the girl. And he's like, what are you doing, man? You got to go win her back. Right? The Owen Wilson character, the guy, he needs that guide, that reflection character, that mentor to come to him and say, hey, wake up. You want to make this change in your life. Yeah. And I think when we make a call to action, that's the leadership we provide for our people.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I mean, why would we want to work with somebody that we don't feel strong that is able to actually lead us to the result that we want.
I
Right?
want a coach who's gonna hold me accountable,
Yeah.
who's gonna, with love, push me a little bit, who's gonna help me grow, who's gonna, maybe call me out when I need to be called out.
Mm-hmm.
That starts from your copy, that starts from your content.
Yeah. Yeah. And that feeling of confidence and that feeling of confidence that you can do this in a way that is also not so overly complicated. Like what I love is that you've got your cycle is 4 main things. There's only
Yeah.
4 things to focus
And it
on.
repeats month after month. You literally, it's like, guess what? Weeks are like months are 4 weeks. My cycle's 4 steps. It's because it's every single month you're doing the same thing on repeat because repetition builds belief.
Yeah.
That's what works.
Yeah. And confidence. And again, I just keep coming back to confidence because that truly is something that is just so important for ourselves, in our messaging, and it really, really, really affects our clients. And the simplicity part, not only do we get to put it on repeat, but when we put it on repeat like that, we're honing and mastering the message too.
Yes.
Not like trying to be like, well, I don't know, do I have to go in this direction next? Do I have to go in this direction next? Nope. Do it over and again and over again and over again. And repetition not only creates belief for our people, our clients, the people that we are most meant to serve, but repetition helps us to know our message and our client even better because we do have the opportunity to master that process.
That is so, so true. And this is what I love about how our work overlaps, because I feel like as much as I give them the simple approach for their content, you give them this really simple way to run and grow their business, right? It's like, I know I don't mean to overshare what you do, but I know that you really stand by like 2 core main offers. Well, if you have 2 core main offers and a rinse and repeat content system, and you're rinse and repeating talking about those 2 core offers, and your message is that repetitive, which is a good thing because that's what's build belief, you're going to gain and build momentum so much faster than everybody else in the marketplace who has way too many offers. They're trying way too many different marketing tactics, and they don't have a consistent, simple rinse and repeat plan for their content. And so it's like, if you can drill it in and make it that simple, that consistent, that rinse and repeat, that helps you feel confident, that helps you feel less overwhelmed, and it helps you build momentum in the marketplace that much faster. That's really cool.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Laura, this is so juicy. This is so juicy. How can people find you? I know that you've got a YouTube channel and you deliver amazing value and content like this so much.
Yeah. I would love to have people find me on YouTube. I'm famously Laura. So I can give you the link or you can look me up. I do have 292 hook templates to help you grab attention. So in terms of if you're really starting this posting for profit system and getting your content converting, that will just make it really easy for you to have your hooks already templated so you can grab that attention.
And they get them so good, you guys. Like download like 292 ways that you don't have to try to second guess how are you going to create attention. I mean, like you've given them all here.
Yep.
Really, really good.
Definitely. It makes it so easy to plan your content because you can just pull your hooks out and boom, you've got all your topics planned. So yeah.
So good. I want you to share also about Convert, because this is something that I just want more people to know is out there, because if they don't know that it's out there, they're not going to be able to, take the next step to really create exactly what we're talking about here, which is the posting for profit cycle. Like, how can they?
Yeah. Well, thank you. Of course, I love sharing about this program. It is really everything you need to bring buyers to you repeatedly with conversion copy for your program. I'm so sorry. So it's everything you need to bring buyers to you. It's specifically for like expert coaches, especially if you have that feeling of like hustling for every individual sale. I know you and I are aligned on this, like that sell like one person at a time, hustling for individual sales, selling DMs, booking coffee chats, tons of sales calls. Like it's exhausting. This is for you. We spend the first month really doing the posting for profit plan together so that you can consistently, month after month after month, expect DMs into your inbox from people looking to work with you with messages like, tell me more about Activate Abundance, or to your email, replies back, booked calls from your email. I want to know more about Activate Abundance, that sort of thing. That is what we focus on together, and we get that rolling in the first month. In the second month, we work on your nurture event copy. Christine's like the master of like helping you run these incredible nurture events, but I think she'll be the first to admit it requires a little copy, right? And so we've got to get your landing pages really tight so people want to join, and your promotional copy really tight so they want to join. And then after that, they're going to need sales emails into your program, sales letters or pages so that they can join. We're really going to help you not have to sell one-to-one, but use copy to sell one-to-many.
Yep.
And then in the last month of the program, we focus on what I call evergreen conversion, which is really like, what's that automated way that people are coming into your world and getting super warmed up so that they're ready to buy? And this, a lot of us have lead magnets or webinars or video series out there, but it's like, are they really converting for you? So that's what the last month's all about. And I love this program because it's really, you can take, I think every offer should have these 3 types of conversion working for their program all the time.
Amazing, Laura. This is so good. You guys need to like run and go find Laura.
Well, that's how I feel about Activate Abundance. Can I just say, I have the honor and pleasure of working with students inside Activate Abundance, and you guys, it's good. They get results. They know their stuff. They love Christine. They feel cared for. They feel supportive. They feel like they know what to do. They feel like it's simple. And they're my favorite, not to play favorites, but they're my favorite clients to work with, because then they come to me and we were just talking about this. They're ready to go for everything that I do with them. And so, yeah, I just feel like in a perfect world, everybody would just go through Activate Abundance and straight into Convert.
Absolutely. We're going to do that. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. Oh God, I could talk about this all day because this is just so much fun. Okay, guys, so we have the hub. You guys, everybody has the access to our hub where all of our speakers are. So go to the Attract pillar, click on Laura's link. You can download the 292 hot hooks and, find her on her YouTube channel. She's on Facebook as well. So feel free to reach out to Laura there. She does amazing trainings, and yeah, so good. So good. Go get it. Go grab those hot hooks for sure, because they will make your content, and helping your ideal client be like, ooh, what's that? So much easier.
Thank you so much.
Laura, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. All right, everybody. We will see you back here tomorrow, and can't wait. Go to that hub, grab your freebies, and we will see you back here again for another Shine Wealthy guest expert. Bye, everybody.